Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with PhoneArena.com and this is the video review of the Zolo Q1100. Zolo's first smartphone in the Q-Core series to feature a quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor. The phone has the same 5-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1280 by 720 pixel at 294 ppi of pixel density, similar to the Q1000 and the Q1000S. It goes head-to-head with the Samsung Galaxy Grand 2 since it is powered by a similar Snapdragon 400 processor. It also lies in the similar price range of the Moto G. So is the Zolo Q1100 worth the price? Let's find out. The IPS display is based on one glass solution technology, so it offers vibrant color output. Brightness seems low in the auto mode, resulting in poor sunlight legibility, but you can adjust the brightness manually. But again, it drains the battery. It is to be noted that the screen is also highly reflective and is prone to fingerprints. There is an earpiece on top along with a 2 megapixel front facing camera, and it also has the usual proximity and ambient light sensors and a LED notification light. There are the usual capacitive touch buttons for menu, home and back below the display. These are backlit and offer haptic feedback. There is a small chin below the bezel, and there is also a tiny microphone hole just above the chin. The phone is 8.3mm thick and weighs around 146 grams. On the left side, there is a volume rocker and the power button is present on the right side. These buttons are present on the rear panel, which lets you access them easily when you're holding the phone in one hand. Both these buttons have chrome finish, so they perform and look really good. The phone has a plastic back cover with matte finish, so it is a bit slippery since the cover extends to the side of the phone. The phone has a 8 megapixel camera with LED flash and also has a secondary microphone as well just above the camera module. It is a BSI-2 sensor for better low-light imaging, but the images were just average. It had autofocus issues in some macro shots, but the images were pretty good. Low-light shots had a lot of noise, but that was expected. The camera UI though is a bit different from other Zolo phones with the MediaTek chips. There are a lot of new features. Some notable features include histogram, option to adjust saturation, contrast, sharpness, ISO, and enable red eye reduction. The LED flash was good and was not overpowering. Zolo plans to introduce its Camera Hawk feature in an upcoming OTA update that would bring a new UI with a visual representation of all these features. Since the phone has a secondary microphone, the audio is crisp, and the phone can also record videos at 1080p Full HD resolution. Even the 2 megapixel front-facing camera can record 720p videos. You can choose between 3 video encoders, H.264, MPEG-4 and H.363, and you can also switch between AMR-NB and AAC audio encoders. Overall, we found the video quality to be pretty decent. You can remove the plastic back cover easily, but it is a bit hard to replace it since it needs to be locked perfectly. The phone has 2 normal SIM card slots, a micro SD card slot to expand, and a 2000 mAh removable battery. Coming to the software part, the phone runs on Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. This is the first Zolo phone to run on Android 4.3, and you have all the features from 4.2 such as quick settings, rich notifications, lock screen widgets, Daydream, and more. And also 4.3 brings a lot of under-the-hood changes to improve the speed and has trim support for better memory management. It also has an option to clear background applications with one click. As usual, the UI is pretty much stock. Moving on to internals, out of 1GB of RAM you get 881 MB of usable RAM and about 525 MB of RAM is free when the phone is idle. Out of 8GB of internal storage you get 5.8GB of user storage and apps. You can also move apps to the phone storage from the internal memory. Talking of apps, it comes with a range of pre-installed ones. It has the usual set of utility apps and Google apps, and then you also have the Zolo Secure and Zolo Power apps pre-installed. The X-Transpic app lets you capture an image and translate the text from a native language to other languages. This uses OCR and Google Translate, but the output is not that good. The Reverie Phonebook app lets you use the phonebook in regional languages such as Hindi, Punjabi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam and Gujarati. The music player is stock and can play several audio formats. You can enable Snapdragon Audio Plus to use equalizer, bass boost and 3D effect features when you're listening using earphones. The phone also has a FM radio with auto search and recording but lacks RDS support. Audio from the loudspeaker is decent, but we found it could be better, and audio from the in-ear earphones is pretty good. The default video player can play videos in a range of formats in Full HD 1080p resolution smoothly. Since the display is glossy, it is a bit hard to view videos in daylight conditions. You don't have many customization options in the SIM settings, and you cannot disable the SIM cards manually. It has the usual set of connectivity features. It also has the Wi-Fi Direct but lacks USB OTG support. Since this runs on Android 4.3, you can enable a Wi-Fi option to detect location without turning on Wi-Fi all the time. The phone is powered by a 1.4 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor with the Adreno 305 GPU. The phone doesn't lag a lot thanks to the faster processor and the Android 4.3 OS. 1 GB of RAM is enough to run quite a lot of apps in the background, and the graphics was also good and gameplay performance was smooth in most of the games we tried. The 2000 mAh lithium polymer battery lasts for a day with average use and less than a day with heavy use. The bundled Zolo Power app lets you conserve the battery life when it is low, and the Qualcomm Snapdragon Battery Guru app limits background refresh time based on your preference to improve the battery life. Overall, the Zolo Q1100 is a decent package from Zolo at a price tag of Rs 14,999. It scores in build and performance and also runs on Android 4.3 out of the box. But the camera is just average. So if you're looking for an Android smartphone with good build and performance in this price range but can compromise on the camera and the battery life, go for it. Listed here are the pros and cons of this device. And that's about it for our video review. Do check out our full review on the blog. The links will be in the description below. And thanks for watching. Do let us know what you think in the comment section below. Do hit the like button if you like this video and do subscribe to our channel for more videos like these.